What's it feel like to be back in the winner's circle?
Yeah, it's certainly good feeling. I was a little bit worried in that last quarter. I thought, our forward line wasn't working anywhere near hard enough, and it almost cost us the game. But, we needed a little bit of luck to win a game, and, maybe we had a little bit there in that last quarter, yeah.
Did you nearly have a heart attack in the time-on period?
Terrible sitting there, but the players, the last 5 minutes, they really, I think they got back to working hard, and they steadied pretty well in the last few minutes and held it together. So, they overall a pretty good effort, I thought.
You were 30 points in front at three-quarter time, kicking into the breeze in the last quarter. Do you think it was enough?
Probably not. I probably thought that it was about a 5-goal breeze. So I thought, third quarter we probably could have finished a little bit better, and I was probably hoping to be about 6 or 7 up at three-quarter time, but as it turned out, five was just enough.
The last two games have been encouraging for Glenorchy. You're obviously going to give supporters some heart from here in.
Oh yeah, we've probably blown 2 or 3 games earlier on in the year that we were in great positions to win, and we blew those games, but we're pretty competitive, and no side's really given us a thrashing, so we're going to be competitive with most sides, I'd say.
Danny, there were some inspiring individual efforts from some of the players today. Do you recall that long run of McQueen's? I think it was in the second quarter.
Matthew Queen, yeah, that was great. He ran and he had good support from the players around him, giving him the instructions, telling him he was clear what to do, and he finished off well with a goal, and those sorts of things can certainly lift the side. And
Mickey Webster's a match-winning effort, I thought, on Seddon to cut him right out of the game.
Webster was fantastic today, but I honestly think he's played like that all year. I would say he's just about had the best year that I can remember him having since he's been at the club, and he's certainly held things together, and he's a very determined sort of bloke, and not very often he gets beaten.
Where did Jeremy Bush come from?
Well, he's a local. We brought him up pre-season to train with us pre-season, but we started him off in the thirds, and his form was good in the third, so about 4 weeks ago, we brought him up to the reserves, and a couple of very good performances, probably best on ground in the reserve or in the best couple, and so we thought, well, we'll keep him going, we'll bring him up, and he's certainly, the last 2 games, he's acquitted himself very well.
Some of your tall players, Carter and Bauman.
Yeah, I thought good in
2 Baumans, really.
Yeah, good in patches, but a few areas that they can improve on, but they're young and they will improve, but they certainly contest pretty well. So
yeah, I think they'll end up being very good marks for you, Danny.
Yeah, I think so.
The extent of Gavin Stiles' injury?
Gavin copped a blow to the face and stunned him a bit. I was just speaking to him. He seems okay and got a bit of a swollen lip, but he'll be okay for next week.
And the on-field future of Danny Ling and Roland Curley?
Well, at the moment we're both training, and Rolly's got a jarred heel at the moment, and I've had a slight hamstring for a couple of weeks, but I probably could have played today, but I thought really that no one deserved to be dropped out of last week's side, and that was the reason I didn't play, because they all warranted their spot, and I think it was the right thing to do.
All right, Danny Ling there, and Danny, we've been there with you through a lot of the losses. It's nice to be there for the first win.
Well, judging what he was saying just then, he won't be back in the team next week. It'd be hard to make a change to a winning team.
No, that's right, and Roland Curley the same. They might not get back in, but it was terrific for Glenorchy because times have been very, very lean, and that's the win they wanted. A young kid was mentioned there, and you saw him in action too, Jeremy Bush, playing only his second senior game, and we now introduce Jeremy Bush to World of Sport. He talks with Jim Manson.
Jeremy, a quick rise to fame for you. I believe you're only in the under-19s a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I was pretty lucky. Had got my chance up at Burnie, playing the reserves. Played a fairly good game there. Last week, or a couple of weeks ago, played in the reserves. Then had a surprise of my life last week. Got in the seniors. Got a few kicks there this week.
A fine game, might I say, today. Difficult conditions out there.
Yeah, it's pretty hard in the last half. Ran out of legs a little bit.
Well, just tell me what your feelings were in those closing minutes.
I said, oh no, I'm going to lose it. We held in.
Well,
got up and won.
I wish you, you know, a successful future with the Maggies.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, Jeremy Bush there, the new kid on the block, playing only his second senior game, and a nice sort of kid.
That's what Glenorchy has to do, isn't it? I mean, they're down the bottom, they can only go up, and you might as well give the youngsters their chance to get a bit of experience.
Right, they've decided to bring the youngsters through, and of course they're working on both ends of the scale, with Danny Ling and Roland Curley coming back into the side to try and coach, I suppose, out on the ground, help them out there.
Give a bit of leadership.
OK, well, through the week, Colin, rumours have been rife that Sandy Bay would replace Shane Williams as coach. Now, as you well know, we were onto the story last Sunday.
Well, if you can call it a story, but I mean, anybody you want to talk to, go to any pub and anyone will tell you that he's on the skids, but I think it did get to the stage where Sandy Bay had to come out and say something.
That's right. We were told by Sandy Bay last week that it wasn't on, so we didn't go any further with the story. But seeing that it's been circulating all the week and it was on radio yesterday, we decided to go to Sandy Bay again, and Jim Manson talked with Brian Lewis, the Deputy President of Sandy Bay.
Brian, there were rumours circulating in Hobart this week that Shane Williams, your coach, was to be replaced. How did those rumours circulate?
Well, I honestly don't know, Jim. I was away all week, and the first I heard of him was when I got back late last night, and we've had no meetings at the club, and as far as I'm concerned, that's just a load of rubbish.
Yeah, well, there were even rumours circulating regarding special meetings.
Well, if there are any special meetings, I'm the Deputy President of the club, and I can assure you that I wasn't involved.
All news to you?
It's all news to me, yeah, that's right.
No talks with Gary Davidson and Noel Leary?
No. The club is definitely right behind Shane Williams at the moment.
Also lots of talk about Conlon's absence. He's supposed to be still away in America, but they reckon he was going to North Hobart. What about those rumours?
Well, again, it's all a load of rubbish. Conlon is back in Australia, and I'm sure you'll find Conlon lining up at Sandy Bay next week.
What are your theories regarding Sandy Bay's poor on-field performance?
Well, at the moment, it's a little bit hard. 1 week they're playing brilliantly, as if you go back to the match against Devonport, they pulled that one out of the fire with a top display. The next week they just don't seem to be able to put 4 quarters together.
And should have pulled this one out today.
Should have pulled it out, I suppose you could say that, but I think that in essence they would have been lucky. You could have said that they'd been lucky if they did pull it out, because again, they didn't put 4 quarters in, they put the last half of the last quarter in, and that was about it.
Brian Lewis there, the Deputy President of Sandy Bay, and squashing any rumours that have been circulating that Shane Williams would be replaced as Sandy Bay's coach.